So after you master all these tenses, like I explained to you guys last time, you have mastered how to use this not even how to use it. You have known that you are supposed to know imparfait, passé composé, présent, present tense, future simple, future near future, future proche, and then you add the conditional présent, which is the talking in the conditional form. After you have mastered all of this, what is the next thing? The next thing now is to start using each of these tenses one after the other. This is what we do in my course. First thing in my course, I build the foundation. The students get to understand how to ask and respond to questions. When you have understood how to ask questions and respond to questions, it becomes easier to master these tenses. So you have to ask questions and respond both positively and negatively. After that, you can now start to master the tenses. If we begin with this imperfect today, we have so many verbs here. We can use any of them. But I think we should start from the top, which is the être. The verb être means to be. And the imperfect of such verbs, you have to master them one after the other, because these are third group verbs and they are always irregular. But no matter how irregular they are, the ending is always going to be the same for all verbs for the imperfect. So if we say the imperfect endings are, for example, we have AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. If we say these are the endings, remember I said endings, we can start to apply this imperfect to talk in so many situations. For example, in my course, we begin by learning how to use this particular aspect of c'est. Then we go to aspects like je suis. So with this c'est, you master from the beginning what it means. Then you go to je suis. That means if someone is posing you a question with c'est, you need to know how to respond. If the question is going with personal pronoun, you need to know how to respond. So taking an example now with that verb être, we are going to notice that someone can pose a question like, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday? C'était hier, for example. Was it yesterday? How does this était come in now? This is the imperfect of this verb être. So if I'm using je, for example, which is I'm going to have the spelling at the ending like this. If I'm using il, elle, or on, which means he, she, or we, or it and we can have, if we have il here, which represents it can be replaced here. Or we can explain that this il here is the it. So, c'était hier was it yesterday. The imperfect is the aspect of asking questions in the past which imply was. So if I'm talking about myself, I was there. So let's use the American English. Was you there? Was you there? Now, if you think of it in that sense, it will be easier for you to use the imperfect. Were you there? Was you there? Were they there? That aspect of thinking of was in the past is what is going to take you to imperfect. Do not get mixed up between this verb être, which has its own imperfect. Was it yesterday? C'était hier. Was it yesterday? C'était hier. And other verbs like, for example, avoir. If somebody wants to say I was having, the person is going to say j'avais. j'avais, which simply means I was having. So you are not supposed to think that, okay, because I have être and I have to say I was having, I'm going to say je étais avoir. No, you cannot do this, because each verb has its own. First of all, if you want to do this, you say j'étais avoir or je étais avoir. Whatever you are thinking, I'm talking to you the way students are thinking. A student was going to be thinking that I was having. Okay. Some student will even put like this. It is good. The way you are thinking is good. But the way you think might be good, but you have to understand that we are concentrating on the particular action that is taking place in the past. That action that is taking place in the past is what you are going to say was. So if I was there, it means I was there. I've not put any other verb except that was, which is the verb to be. I was there. That is why I can say j'étais là. I'll clean this and put it so that you can see clearly. So I can say j'étais là. J'étais là or j'étais là-bas. I was there. I've not put any other verb, just was. I was there. I was there. But if I want to use another verb like I was going, now we go to the verb going. I was going. You notice carefully that we have was and we have going. But that aspect of saying was going in the past is going to affect only the verb to go. Because I'm not saying I was there. I'm saying I was going. You notice actually there are two verbs, was and going. But you have to concentrate on the fact that which action were you performing in the past, you were going. So it is going to affect only that going. Therefore, you are going to concentrate only on the verb to go. And you have j'allais. J'allais. I was going. So I hope you are getting it. Concentrate only on that verb. That is why we also have, in this case, yeah, I think that's it for now. So if we want to use je now, in this case, what are we going to say? Je étais avoir. In this case, we just say j'avais, I was having. J'avais, I was having. I hope this is clear. There are a lot of things to explain here with this verb, but you have to master one after the other. So c'était hier. I was there yesterday. You just go straight to the point. J'étais là hier. Hier, j'étais là. J'étais là. I was there. Oui, j'étais là. I was there. That était là is just the verb was or être or to be. I hope this is clear, and you can apply this to all these other verbs and it will go. When I was growing up, when I was growing up, when I was writing, when I was speaking. Don't try to search for that was. Concentrate on the verb you are using. Speaking, able, growing up, living. That was in the past. When I was speaking, or simply, I was speaking with my boss yesterday. I was not happy yesterday about the situation. So I was speaking with my boss about the situation. I was speaking. Don't search for was. Just go straight to the speaking. Je parlais. Don't forget, if you are using je, the ending is going to be like this. Je and tu. If you are using il, elle, and on, you are going to have the ending like this. If you are using nous ending, vous ending, il and elle in the plural ending, this is the only time you are going. I'll do another video on this. How do you distinguish between this il and this il in the plural? Okay, so the pronunciation is going to help you. So je parlais, I was speaking. If you have questions, ask them. I'm going to respond to you. So this is how you apply imparfait, because the imparfait has the idea of doing things in the past when you think of was in English.